All right, well, thanks for attending the lunch lab today. My name is Benjamin Kempner. I appreciate everyone that came today to come hear me present. I'm really grateful for anyone that hears me speak. If you want to reach out to me after the presentation, any questions, you want me to send you the presentation, I am videoing this on my MacGyver duct-taped tripod over there. So I will put this presentation on YouTube and obviously also try to give this to MHYP if they want to use it for any purposes. And then, feel free to reach out to me. So I've got my business cards right here in front of the computer if you want to contact me. So with that, today's lunch lab is going to be about social media for business. First off, you might be thinking, wow, this is a pretty general title for a guy that owns a social media company. And I'll tell you why I decided exactly on that title is because it comes back to me being kind of a data nerd. There are actually about 9,000 people per month that literally search for that keyword phrase on Google every month in the United States. So social media for business, what I'm seeing a lot of entrepreneurs, small business owners searching for is, how do you help me with my business on social media? They're actually typing that into Google and searching for that. So that's why I titled it for the name of today's presentation. If you can, let's go to the next slide for me on the right. So today's presentation, I'm going to kind of be talking about some of the trends. Obviously, I'm going to kind of throw in some different success stories that I've had, some clients. The name of my company, so you know, is Global Social Media Marketing. That's our logo there. I actually, our business is headquartered here in Denver, Colorado. I've been doing social media for about 9 years now in my career. I've done a lot of different freelance contractor positions to corporate America, and kind of my entrepreneurial story is I literally, for all of last year, tried to get a full-time job and nobody would hire me. So I said, okay, I'm just gonna start a company, and the rest is history. And so today, I have my own marketing and education technology company. The other component of our business is that we're also doing some Google technology training. So if any of you are using any of the G Suite products or you've looked into Google advertising, we also do that as well. My team currently sits at about 10 people today. We're all remote, different international people on our team, multiple languages. And kind of today, my focus has been really kind of helping the small business owners and medium-sized businesses. That doesn't mean I'm not open to working with corporate America, but I just feel that there's a lot of opportunity, and those are the people also that they might be running their social media themselves, right? If you're a personal insurance agent, or if you're a personal lawyer, or if you're on your small business, most times you don't have a social media person dedicated, so you're trying to, as the business owner, or the kind of independent person, trying to do it all yourselves. And while that's perfectly fine, and I definitely encourage those people to be empowered, it is its own profession now, right? Social media became a job when I graduated from college. Hello. In 2011. So I do think that if you're really trying to take social media seriously to help grow your business, that you should try to work with someone. I'm not saying you necessarily have to work with our company or myself, but I think working with someone that's in social media is a really good approach for your business because it changes so quickly, right? I mean, think about where Facebook and Instagram were 9 years ago and where it is today, or the fact that YouTube is only 10 years old. I know that sounds crazy, but people watch YouTube videos every day now. So it's just kind of funny to see that evolution. So first thing I want to say too for my presentation today is I would hope that it's just more of a conversation of you guys trying to get value from it instead of me just showing you some slides, right? I can obviously give you this entire PowerPoint presentation after, but I want to open it for your questions. What are you guys struggling with? What are you looking to get from social media for business? So I'm going to start the presentation with a question, and I want to see if anyone can get it in the room, is who knows what the 3 most visited websites in the world are? Does anyone know? Throw some answers out there if anyone has any ideas. Google is number 1, very good. Who's number 2?
YouTube.
YouTube is number 2. And Facebook is number 3, right? So when you look at that kind of trend in 2019 now, right? If you're a business owner or you have a website for your company, or even if you're your own independent business person, you can get a much bigger audience on social media than you're ever going to be able to get on your website, right? That's just the fact of the matter that those are huge corporations that have built these platforms for people now. You can go create your own social media page. You can literally do everything that you can do on a website on social media. You can do things from such as like landing pages, contact forms, event promotions. You can even buy directly through social media now. That's a huge trend that's happening on Instagram right now. You're seeing a lot more people actually took their products and they're actually able to buy those products directly through Instagram. I don't have to send you to my website or to some mom and pop store. I can literally just sell you my product or services through Instagram. I've seen that happen a lot right now in the retail space. So kind of looking at the trends of where we're at right now, rebuilding trust, that might sound really funny to a lot of people, but the phenomenon there is there's all of these spam accounts now, right? There's all these fake people, right? You might see things such on like Twitter, for example, like God knows every time we hear about Donald Trump, it's about one of his tweets, right? That he's put out there because he's the real Donald Trump. Or you see all these famous athletes now that are going out there and there might be some, fake accounts that are like fan pages than the actual person. So what's happening now with all of that is consumers, or our opinion, what we're doing is we're going to go research, right, around that business, go check out their social media. So first thing we're going to do if we're a consumer now, we're going to go check your website, but immediately right after that, we're probably going to go check your social media. So we're already kind of trying to earn that trust. We want to make sure that it's a credible account, it's a real person. Storyfying of social has become a huge trend as of recently. It was really inspired, from my opinion, all by Snapchat. Snapchat was one of the early adopters to kind of decide that they wanted to have this very interactive storytelling feature where you could have multiple pictures or multiple videos to, similar as like a television show or a movie film. If you're screenplay writing, right, you'd have different settings and scenes with different characters. That's exactly what's happening on social media. So shortly thereafter, of course, Instagram started falling, and then Facebook owns Instagram, so they're like, oh, okay, we need to be doing that too on our platform. So now you can actually literally just redistribute your stories across all of these different platforms. So you're seeing stories become a really big deal right now. And just so any of you know, if you're on Instagram, there are more Instagram stories being posted per day now than there are actual posts. So if you're looking to use Instagram as a opportunity for your brand or for your business, I would recommend that you focus more on stories now than you do on the actual posts themselves, which is pretty funny to me. Closing the ads gap, we'll get into that, but pretty much all you need to know is that all of these platforms have advertising now. They're really kind of following Google's successes. Facebook was the first profitable social media channel in history, and now slowly all of these other channels are buying into that. They're kind of taking those same concepts from Google and from Facebook, and I'm pretty sure that most of these social media agencies are going to be very profitable from all of their advertising here in the future. Cracking the commerce code, I briefly touched on that, how now it's no longer e-commerce, right, of just a website or an electronic document. We can literally buy products and services directly through social media. So social media is a commerce platform now. Messaging eats the world. What I'm trying to say there is that, I think a lot of people with social media, they're always about my brand and my company and my services, and they're marketing to the masses, right? They'll put out a post, they'll hope that hundreds of thousands of people see it, but they're not really creating those one-to-one relationships, right? I mean, if you go back to the age-old story of sales, right? Business is all about relationships, and you don't build a relationship with someone by talking to hundreds of people at once. You actually still have to have that one-to-one communication. So you're seeing a lot of people do direct messaging now. Facebook Messenger's really built out their messenger platform. They even have automated chat bots now where you can kind of set up some customer service messaging. So I would say one-on-one messaging is going to be a trend that's going to continue to increase. And that makes a lot of sense because we have better kind of conversations that way, right? Be a little bit more humanized and personal. Verified accounts, that probably links back to rebuilding of trust. All of these networks are moving in that direction. I'm not sure about LinkedIn, but YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram all have verified pages now. So what that is think of it as like you're registering your business, right? You have to go through the process of saying, yes, my business is credible. Here's my registration of that business in the state or whatever with that paperwork. Same thing's happening on social media now. You have to literally give that credibility of your social media business page that says it's a verified account. You do that through obviously like building a fan base, showing your content, matching it with your online presence of your business and things like that. Video traffic is it's just doing this, and anyone that says that video is the future is silly in my opinion. It's not the future, it's the present. Video is really a great storytelling mechanism, and they're predicting that 80% of consumer traffic by 2020 will probably be consumed all by video, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. So if you're not doing video, you don't have to be a professional video guy. I mean, I wish I could take a picture right now of the CEO of a social media company with duct tape of his smartphone, right? I don't have any fancy equipment. That tripod cost me $30, and then there's my iPhone, which I made monthly payments. I still haven't paid it off, right? But it's like a phone that I use. Really what I'm seeing happening is like I started one of my first social media gigs was working as a social media strategist for a medical devices company, and they were like, Benjamin, you know how to make videos? I was like, no, they didn't teach us how to do that in school. And they're like, okay, well here's all the stuff to go make it. And I pretty much taught myself how to make videos. So another thing for that too is like if you're worried about how to make videos or cameras, YouTube is a great platform for that, right? I think kind of looking at these different platforms, right? LinkedIn would probably be a little bit more professional B2B. Instagram is super hot for like fashion and celebrities and B2C products. Facebook is I think a combination of these both, where you've got some more advertising possibilities to grow your business, but also you see a lot more B2C here. And then YouTube is really kind of more of this how to learn something, how to educate, how to entertain people. So they all have their different employees within the space. And then I think the last thing, it was funny, I was gonna maybe put in a video today, but it was a little bit of inappropriate. I don't know if did anyone catch the White Claw phenomenon this summer at all? It was pretty funny to me, like being in social media, I had really not seen a brand that had embraced memes so much. And then there was this viral YouTube video of that guy Trevor. I don't know if anyone ever saw that video. I was gonna put that in today's presentation, but he drops the F-bomb a little too many times for my taste. So, but I think the funny thing in all that is like that literally White Claw increased their sales 250% year over year just from this summer. And it was because of one YouTube viral video and all of the memes that were happening on Instagram. They made it this brand that was cool, that their consumers wanted to share. And that's a great story example of like, White Claw surpassed all craft beer sales this summer, through memes and a YouTube video. It's pretty outstanding. So I think that should scream to you that social media is no longer this should we be there? It's more of that's where the audience is, and we need to be at least present there engaging with those people, because it has huge implications for that viral sharing effect. So if you can for me, please, next slide. And feel free to stop me at any point if you guys want to. So kind of looking at the algorithms, right? Algorithm is really just a fancy word for a mathematical equation that all of these social media platforms run on. So no different than Google, right? How does Google return certain search results? The social media platforms are going to return certain posts that you're going to see. Normally what happens on social media is they're going to do it chronologically first. So if you post something recently, right, it makes perfect sense. They want to give that ranking of that fresh content, because the social media platforms are saying this is new content, this is new stuff. I want to make people see this, because maybe I've got some posts for 30 days ago, like for example for the lunch lab, right? We put up a post yesterday about me presenting for the presentation today. Facebook's not going to be showing that post once we go put up our next post, right? They're going to show something else. Next thing they're going to kind of take into effect of when you see a social media post or not is going to be the engagement that it gets, right? How many people are sharing it, liking it, commenting it, how long are they viewing it? The more engagement that you can get, essentially, the better you can help to rank your content. So when you think about what makes a good social media post, we'll get into that, but you definitely are, what you can kind of look at as a result is looking at those types of metrics, right? How many people are engaging with that post? There are different ways that we can find our posts from search perspective, right? If we're using the right keywords, hashtags are essentially just that, where it's around a specific topic section where we can explore that. All of the social media channels that I just showed you in that past slide are using hashtags. So they've implemented that. I'm not saying to use hashtags on every channel. I don't want to get over inundated with so many hashtags. I think Twitter was really kind of the original of that, but use them when you think appropriate and don't over spam them. Maybe use 3 to 5 tops in a post if you're going to do that. And then social proof, right? I mean, it's kind of like, again, going back to that credibility now. A consumer is going to go look at your website. They're going to go maybe check out your Google reviews. The next thing they're going to look at is your social media. If you've got 100 fans, that's probably not going to tell me that you really know what you're doing on social media. Probably if you only have 1,000 fans, I'm going to kind of question you. So if you look at the brands that have, or businesses that have thousands of followers, those are the people that are going in there without even knowing the company, and immediately their brain goes off and says, oh wow, their social media presence has XYZ fans or whatever, so I'm going to trust this brand is a little bit more innovative with the times. You have a question?
You can go over how to potentially get more followers.
I can go over that, yeah. So
without like the like for like or like buying them or stuff.
Right,
like that.
yeah. So what I'm seeing with fan base growth is what's happened with like Instagram is like the beginning of this year, last year, there was all these automated Instagram software tools where there's just this like, one-off computer science engineer guys where they're building this platform and it's going and it's just like following all these accounts just like randomly so you can just get numbers. Or there's all of these third-party services now that you can go pay. From my perspective, you want to build a fan base that is relevant. What's the point sometimes of having a follower if they're never going to be a customer? Unless you're just trying to get your brand out there, that's great in the beginning. But eventually, like from a business perspective, right? If I'm going to go pay thousands of dollars to grow my fan base, I would hope that one of those fans would become a customer. So the best ways to build a fan base are, organically, without paying any money to start, would be, first off, thinking about who are influencers in my industry, right? Are an influencer is anyone that's kind of influential. There's different types of influencers, right? So influencer marketing is like, it's no different than like celebrities, where you've got maybe like different levels, right? Of like, maybe here's like Obama at the top, or like Trump. And then kind of in the middle is like, you've got like your famous athletes or something like LeBron James, and then you get kind of more into your topicals. So what's your industry? What business do you work in?
Residential real estate.
So real estate. So maybe there's a famous real estate guy. A famous real estate agent here in Denver?
There's in the room, yeah.
Okay, so maybe there's a famous real estate person here in Denver that we can kind of bucket him into. Maybe there's also just within this category someone that's just a real estate expert, not that just is in Denver, but that talks a lot about real estate. Like he is considered what we would say like a thought leader, like he's a topical influencer. He's not influential in the perspective that he has millions of followers, but he's influential in the perspective that when somebody wants to know about real estate in Denver, they go to him because he's the guy that has that presence for really putting out that type of content that people are trusting. The next level might be someone kind of like me where, I'm savvy, I've had social media for a while, I've got a few thousand followers, so somebody that's kind of like, a couple thousand, and then there's kind of like the average like consumer. So you've kind of got like these different buckets, right, of influencers, so you kind of scale up from like a pyramid. So my first advice to a business when they're trying to grow is to look at their industry and see if there's any influencers that they can reach out to. That's become its own industry now. It's going to be a $20 billion industry next year. So what that means is that somebody like Donald Trump, Barack Obama, they're going to charge you thousands, if not millions of dollars for them to post something about you or your business. Whereas somebody like you or me, we might not charge anything. If you just reach out to me and say, hey, I'd love to give you a discount or a free proposal, a free consultation or something like that. And then maybe with that topical guy, he might be charging you something like $100. So this right here is kind of a ballpark rate that I have in 2019 if you're looking for influencers to help you grow. The benefit of that is, right, to help you grow is like them kind of promoting you instead of you promoting yourself. And what you're doing is you're leveraging their already existing audience, right? There's probably a lot of people, if you're in real estate and you can partner with one of those influencers, but a lot of those audiences would then transfer over and grow into your fan base. So there's one approach, and it doesn't have to be paid. I'm kind of giving you these as the numbers, But you can also try to find some creative ways to reach out, email them, have a cup of coffee, see what opportunities are there. Maybe it's a win-win opportunity. The second way that you could build your fan base is something that's called a shuffle methodology. This is just kind of the concept that if I'm Coke and you're Pepsi, there's probably a really good chance if I want more cola fans, that if I go follow the Pepsi followers, that they'll follow me back. That's what we call the shuffle methodology, where I could go into your Instagram and I could click on all of your followers as Pepsi if I'm Coke, and go follow, and then see how many of those convert back and follow me, because I already know they like cola, so there's a good chance that they're gonna like Coca-Cola, right? That's free. It doesn't cost you any money to go out and follow people on platforms like Instagram or Twitter. Facebook, we can't do that. So unfortunately, Facebook, they're ahead of the game, right? They're not the dumb guys in the room. Organically on Facebook, my first approach would be for you to do an email blast to your friends, your networks, your family. See how many of them, so you can get some kind of just your personal network to start with. But then after that, you really have to pay to play. My favorite quote that I tell entrepreneurs and small business owners now is that social media marketing is like gambling. You got to pay to play. If you're not going to put money into building an audience on Facebook, then it's going to be really hard to build it organically. Right now on Facebook, it's something like 5% of your organic posts get seen by your audience, and people are kind of experiencing burnout with the whole like my page thing, right? It's kind of comes across as spammy. So with that being said, with Facebook, you're really going to have to know how to use Facebook Ads Manager. So for Facebook Ads Manager, if you're trying to build a Facebook audience, you can use Facebook Ads Manager, and what you'll want to do is once you get into the Ads Managers, you'll want to run a campaign that is specifically targeted for likes, so that you can build that audience. And that's in the Facebook Ads Manager. If you're not familiar with that, that would be something that we would definitely want to look into a little bit further. I don't want to kind of get too deep into that today. I do have, on another note, an entire Facebook marketing course that I've created this year. So if you're interested after the presentation, I'd be more than happy to kind of send you that. It shows you how to use Facebook Ads Manager, and it even talks about how to build an audience through that likes campaign. Any other questions on this slide before I move to the next one? No? So how does social work with inbound marketing, right? Does anyone know what inbound marketing is? Can anyone define that for me? No? No one's heard of it? No? So inbound marketing was kind of this concept that was developed by my favorite company that you should definitely check out if you haven't heard of them. The name is HubSpot. It was founded by two guys at MIT, brilliant guys, and at that time, they were trying to compete with all the other marketing automation tools. Marketing automation is just a fancy word for kind of putting your marketing on autopilot, right? You send specific messages based upon where the consumer is in their buyer journey process. So HubSpot, what they did that was different is, the old age of marketing, right? It was like, you'd go pay Yellow Pages, or you would go get a billboard, or you would go on to television and radio, right? That's what we call outbound or traditional marketing, where you're literally like putting yourself out there, right? So that everyone can see you, and then you're gonna maybe get some leads or some business that way. Inbound marketing is the concept of creating content or things that are of value for what people are searching for, so that when they search for that type of content or that type of information that they're looking for to buy your product or service, that they're now inbound coming into your business. So you're creating content so that you can have inbound leads instead of you pushing content out and like going out there to find those people. So those people are coming to find you instead of you finding them. So there's kind of like this huge transformational phase. I went to the Inbound conference a while back, just if you guys are ever curious. It was definitely life-changing for me. It's just called Inbound. It is the world's largest inbound marketing conference, and there's some really good stuff. They have some awesome content. Their blog is killer. They know more about social media than I do. Hopefully, I've applied there many times, and I own social media companies, so who knows? Maybe I'll get to work with them one day. Who knows? But kind of going back to how does inbound marketing work with social, right? It's like that concept of like getting people to come into your business instead of me going out to find business. Social media can help you build a bigger audience, right? I just told you that the 3 most visited websites in the world are all essentially social media channels minus Google, which is the search engine. But so first off, your audience is there because people are spending time there. The next thing is that you can kind of target, right, on social media. I can kind of set up my different demographics. That's also, really big benefit of inbound versus outbound, right? In the past, if I went and put a billboard, I wouldn't really know how many people saw that billboard, who saw that billboard. Everything on social media is trackable. I know exactly who saw it, at what time, where they're from. I can go into all of that data, so it's better tracking. So we create this content, we target these people, we provide content on social media, and now what that does is it's creating all of these visits and these links. So funny enough, every time you create a post on social media, it's almost like you're kind of creating your own mini link, right? Your own mini website link. And the more social media posts that you create, the more traffic that it could potentially drive to wherever you're trying to send people. Obviously, most people are trying to send people to their website, right? That adds a lot of credibility. So if you make a lot of social media content and then you drive them to your website, in 2019, or I think probably the last 3 to 5 years, there's something which is called retargeting. Does anyone know what retargeting is in the room? No? So retargeting means if I create a social media post and I send you to my website that's optimized with the same keywords around that. So in your case, let's say real estate Denver, right? I put up a new $300,000 condo in Lodo as a post, promoting it. Then on my website, it's on there, and then now I have what's called a tracking code or a pixel code that's on my website. So every time now, since you've entered to go onto my website, and this is a disclaimer that a lot of people don't realize, when you go to somebody's website, you are essentially saying to that website at that point, hey, in order for me to access your website, I am giving you my data. You're saying anything I do on your website, because you're letting me access this website, you now have my data. So that's what retargeting does, is it uses a tracking code on the website. So now, if I go back to Facebook and I went to your website, has anyone in the room ever been searching for something and then all of a sudden you see it on Facebook, you're like, wait a second, I was just searching for my bikini top and now there's bikini photos all over Facebook. What's going on here? That is retargeting. So it's very smart, right? It's you think about the average consumer, it's something like 10 to 15 searches before they buy a product or service now. So that's what retargeting helps with, is if I created something on social and then sent you to the website, or maybe if you started on the website and then I sent you to social, it's like integrating all of these so that on all the different ways in which you're gonna search for my business, I'm on multiple channels to help you make the best decision. And it's kind of like that consistent communication. Think of it as like when you do an email campaign. You don't normally just email someone one time and make a sale. You send multiple emails based upon, are they, a past customer? Did they have abandoned checkout, to buy your t-shirt? Things like that. So retargeting is something I would definitely recommend. That's an advanced strategy. But I think it's important for you guys to know that, just so you can understand that is kind of how social works with inbound marketing. It's like if you're creating content and people are finding you, then that's gonna help you create kind of more qualified leads because they're searching for your product or service instead of you selling your product or service. And now I can retarget you because you landed on my website and I can put you all over on social media to keep seeing that similar messaging. So next slide. So what's the value? I don't need to read through all these. You can obviously look at these. I mean, from the room of the audience, what do you guys think the value of social media? I'd love to just hear some random answers. What do you guys think the value is?
It can be exponential.
Right? So exponential, like what? Give me some examples.
I mean, just in terms of getting your brand out there, getting your name out there. I'm sure there's a few different industries here, but I'm here because I am not getting my name out there enough.
Right.
I'm very good at what I do, but people need to know that I'm good at what I do.
Cool. Any of the two gentlemen here on the right, anything about your industries or anything about the value for social media for you guys?
It's good for reviews, especially in an
Reviews.
industry where you're a lot of word of mouth advertising, when people can go there and see that a client is happy with the service.
Definitely. What industry are you in?
Insurance.
Insurance. Definitely for insurance. How about you back there on the right?
What I'm trying to see if this is actually good for our industry, it's more distribution.
Okay.
And so I'm trying to say, well, okay, is there a way that we could drive traffic to our website?
Definitely, yeah. Traffic, reviews, brand awareness, all great stuff. So there's tons of things that you can do with social media. Everything that you guys said is possible. And I think, you know, when you think of social media, it wasn't like, the thing that drives me crazy, because I deal a lot with business owners that are just bottom line results, they want sales, they want revenue, is that social media can do those things, but that wasn't why social media was originally created, right? Social media, the word social, right, is like communication to be social, and then media, the consumption of like television, video, photos. So like the consumption of media and the conversations around it. That's really what social media is, and it was created to be a community. Now in 2019, all these social media channels have figured out, well, everyone's spending all of their time here now, paying attention to all this media and having all these conversations. So now we can add that layer of business. So while all those things that you guys said are possible, my big piece of advice for you is, yes, do those things, but also start with your community first and with your brand first, right? Build an audience, build great content and then media, and then layer on that sales stuff, right? We call social media what's called like a first channel attribution normally, which means if I'm in the sales cycle of buying a product or service for you, I might go to social media first, right? In my initial research before I go buy that product. Probably not a lot of consumers are gonna go directly to social media and buy something. They are, that trend is happening, but they're gonna go to your website, they're gonna go to your reviews, they're gonna go check out a lot of other things. So think of social media sometimes as like maybe your first impression, and then from there, once you get that good first impression, how do you build that relationship with that person through reviews, credibility, content, traffic, those types of things. So let's go to the next slide. So that kind of leads me into social selling. You guys obviously, I'm pretty sure everyone in the room would like to be doing more business through social media. So I made this little fancy, complex graphic about 5 years ago, funny enough. And that was kind of when, at that time, these were the big channels. The ones that I had at the beginning of the presentation, again, if you're gonna focus on channels, my advice for you is to focus on Facebook and YouTube because of the top 3 guys in the room, right? The top 3 most visited websites in the world. And then I would say probably go into Instagram. The reason for that, I'll get here in a second, is because Instagram was the fastest growing social media channel of all time in history. So there's just a lot of younger people going there, a lot of like retail, fashion brands. So social selling, I kind of mentioned how sometimes people will go to your social media, they'll find you, but then social sales is the process of helping those buyers become customers. How do we do that? Well, we have a website, and we have a blog, and we promote that website or that blog through these different social media channels and build that community, right? The first thing that I always try to tell most, business owners is, yeah, we're gonna get you customers, but what we're really doing is we're building a community so that people can have conversations, so they can be humanized, right? That's why we had social media. Facebook business, that wasn't a thing when Facebook was created. You just had a Facebook profile and that was it, and it was like back and forth, you post and you message people. Then you get that awareness and that consideration, right? It's that social selling. It's the art of using social media networks then to find, connect, and understand those prospects. So I can go on LinkedIn if I'm an insurance agent and maybe go find some of the people that are in my local community that are business owners, maybe if those are good accounts, or I can go see if I'm connected to someone and see if their friends are potentially in need of my product or services, right? And so it's kind of moving them through this kind of social sales funnel of using social media to build these things so that eventually they hopefully take action. And then the good customers, right, like White Claw, for example, it's like not only are those people buying products, but they're putting out hundreds of silly memes about them with their White Claw at a frat party now. So that now thousands of their fraternity brothers are seeing this White Claw picture, and now they're being evangelists. They're being super loyal fans. And now everyone's saying, hey man, did you see that post about the White Claw? There's no laws with claws. Like, come on, we gotta go get some of those things now. So I think that's kind of when you think about social media, the sales cycle of it, this is kind of a good interpretation of how to think about it. Any questions here? No? All right, next slide. I briefly touched here on influencer marketing, bringing up kind of an example here of what I did for one of the fastest growing software as a service companies here in Denver last year. Not sure if anyone here has heard of Conversant. They're an ethics and compliance software. They're in the industry here in Reno, Denver. And this is kind of how I built out their influencer marketing program. I'm not currently working with them any further, but when I was working with them, we thought about our influencer marketing, right? When I showed you this nice little pyramid triangle of having like a spokesperson and having those industry influencers, and then you have your customers that can also be influential on how people buy your product or service for your business, and then your team, right? I think a big thing for me is when a business invests in social media, you really need company buy-in, right? I mean, if you've got employees that are on social media, the average Facebook user has 200 friends on Facebook. Imagine if you've got a small team of 10 people, now multiply that times 2, well now you just reached 2,000 people and you haven't paid any money yet, just for somebody in your company to post something for you. So, to your point of maybe getting more traffic or getting more reviews, start with your friends and your family first, leverage those, because all of those people also have social media channels, and that's trust and credibility, right? When people go to Facebook, they're not normally going to Facebook to go buy a product. They're normally going to Facebook to see what their friends and family are doing, and then if their family or friends say something, oh, Bobby Sue over there is saying, like, I should probably go look into this dentist, maybe I should go check them out. So I think going to influencer marketing again is a big thing that I'm seeing happen in social media, and they don't necessarily have to be like, Obama or the most famous, real estate guy or LeBron James. Like, they could just be one of your already existing customers that helps influence other people within their network to help grow your business. Next slide, please. So YouTube, number 2 search engine in the world. This is actually my first YouTube video I ever made 9 years ago, and it is the number 1 ranking video for ACL braces on YouTube. It's pretty funny. So why don't you guys go ahead and play this? It'll be funny just to see this. This is 9 years ago. Go back. Red button. So, medical devices, right? It's like, who would have thought medical devices would have been like this really relevant brand on social media? But at that time, 9 years ago, they had fitting instructions. And they went to me and they said, Benjamin, what if we could take our medical devices, the fitting instructions that you would normally read when you get the device, and we made a video of it instead. And we could show the doctors and the hospitals how to use the braces, instead of us as a sales team having to go to the doctor, trying to schedule a meeting, how does the brace work, what are the values of it, we just filmed it.
Secure the upper calf strap, which is well placed above the belly of the calf muscle for good suspension.
It's not a long
Then the
video,
lower
it's 2
thigh
minutes
strap.
long, but you kind of get everything you need. This saved this company thousands of dollars. They didn't have to send their team.
Now tighten the front tibial strap.
That's good. Fair enough. You get the point. So I think, looking at YouTube again as an educational resource, if you're a salesman, it's great storytelling. It shows your customers your product or your service in a unique way. You can do it for things such as presentations, vlogs, tutorials, webinars. If you're getting reviews, how great would it be if you had some YouTube videos that were video reviews of your customers? That would be great content. Live streams, product videos. The possibilities are endless, and now YouTube also is now creating revenue streams around their videos. So if you can get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube with 4,000 hours of watch time, you can be a YouTube partner where you make money off of your videos that allow advertisers to advertise on your video. It's no different than how radio and television transition. I like to make that analogy a lot of like social media is just really the modern day television. If you're a business and you're a lawyer in Denver and you wanted to be on like, the #1 telenovela because you're trying to reach Hispanics, then you would put your TV commercial format there for that 30-second spot. Same thing with YouTube now. It's like, if you want to go be on the most successful YouTube channel and advertise your lawyer services because it's a legal YouTube channel, that's a great place for you to advertise on. We'll go right. Next slide. So I actually included an example of law firm. We don't have to play the video. I just wanted to give this as an example of the results that I was able to get, so you can see that I was able to grow their watch time and their views. I really did that by just having like consistent content in the videos. We actually were doing like live talk shows with this law firm in Houston, Texas, where the lawyer would come on and he would live stream his presentation, and he would have people call in. You know, normally when you deal with a lawyer, right, you've got to call them on the phone, and it's like you're trying to help them with their problems. He just started having the people call in and let them know, hey, I'm gonna put this on the video before, like, you know, you call in or whatever. So he did pre-screen them, and then he put them on video, and then he actually answered their questions on YouTube. How great was that for his business? Now he's literally providing free content for other people that are dealing with legal issues, and now he's building credibility where now people watch that video, wow, this guy really knows what he's talking about with this case. I think he can help me. I'm gonna call that lawyer and do business with him. So let's go to the next slide. So here's some of the different things I did to do that. I'm not gonna get too in depth. If you guys are curious about how to best optimize your videos, I have my own kind of like proprietary database sheet that I've done. There's a whole bunch of different things with YouTube going on. I don't wanna kind of go through all that, but I just wanted to kind of show you all the complexities that YouTube is. It's not just this upload a video and it's done. There's tags, there's titles, there's descriptions, there's you know, the types of channels they're doing, the captions, you know, the people that are seeing it. There's a lot of stuff going on with YouTube. So next slide. So definitely wanted to get to Facebook, and I know I've got about 8 minutes, so I don't want to spend too much time. I want to focus on asking the class here, why do you think that this is a successful social media post without me even saying it, right? You can see the engagements, right? This is me collecting one of our awards this year in Las Vegas. Why does anyone give me any feedback? Why do you think this was so successful, minus the advertising, like outside of that, like just organically?
Because of the Caesar's Palace was tagged in it.
Okay, there you go. So number one, you're using a location, right? That always adds value. Can I tag where I'm at? Can I tag a business? What else?
You're receiving an award.
I'm receiving an award, right? So that adds credibility, right? Taking a picture of an award, showing that proof, wow, Benjamin won an award, he must be pretty good if he won an award, right? I don't know anything about him, but he's winning awards. What else?
Say emojis are important.
Emojis, boom, got it. So emojis for me, they pretty much just become their own language, right? I mean, who in here has like a daughter or son? Anyone in the room have a kid? Where like their kids literally just like communicate in emojis now? It's pretty funny, right? They don't even text each other. They just text each other emojis now. So emojis, it's almost like we're going back to the caveman era, where cavemen used to like paint like the symbols on the caves, and you would interpret that, and your hunters and gatherers would go there. It's kind of what's happening with social media. You know what this also does is it drives, emojis drive emotion. Like, you know, the most common used emoji today is this happy smiley guy, right? I'm happy, you know, I approve of this product, right? Like, imagine if someone went on social media and you were selling a product or service and they give me that happy face. That's kind of my confirmation that they approve, that happy face emoji. So add into that. What else? Anything else? Those are all good. What else? So last thing is just color too, right? This is going to kind of stand out a little bit. Not that bright, but the purple and the red. So using kind of the different types of color schemes, right? Bright pictures normally used really well. The other thing here is using people, right? I think a lot of brands and businesses miss that. Again, why was social media created? To create a community, to talk to people. If I just feature my product and service and just show the product and service, but imagine if I'm like White Claw and I show a lifestyle of some guy by the pool drinking his White Claw. Oh, now I can connect to that, right? The consumer's drinking that by the pool, I'm connecting to that lifestyle. You know, you see that a lot with like outdoor products like REI or the skiers, like Icon Pass, right? It's always pictures of the people actually skiing. It's not pictures of just people, or just pictures of the mountains, right? So having that humanizing aspect. So let's go to the next slide. So Facebook events, I definitely wanted to give a shout out to MHYP in my presentation. That's something I think that we've been able to do really well at MHYP. If any of you don't know, I'm a part of the communications committee for MHYP, and I run all the Facebook for MHYP. So what we've kind of developed for us is we've got a nice little template, right? Where we've got the exact event, the date, the time. We've got a nice picture, right? There's a nice little bright image that we've gotten from the location, and then you can go. And then what we're doing is we're kind of promoting those. We promote a lot of our events through having kind of like, if you're ever doing an event, those are really good ways for your business too. Like if you did something like this, if you're an insurance agent or a real estate agent, do like a lunch lab, create a Facebook event. Now go to the event venue and say, hey, can you co-host this event with me on Facebook? Now what happens is that entire event venue's fan base now sees your event. So now you're playing into that audience, and you didn't even have to pay any money. All you had to do was just go to the event venue where you're having your event and say, hey, would you mind being a co-host and just, making sure that you share this because we're going to be giving a presentation or going to be at your event venue? That gives you reach to thousands of people and a new audience that you don't currently have. So we do that with MHYP, right? We reached out to Cherish Lounge, they put it on theirs, we've tagged Youth Roots as our charity partner. We've added that, and then we kind of boost that event and we get traction. That's a really good way, in my experience, if you're trying to get new business, try to think of what little quick event can I do, or what event venue could I potentially reach into to build my audience. Let's go to the next slide. So Facebook is a beast. The whole conversation about ads that we were talking about, these are all the different types of ads that you can run. It's a lot. I'm trying to stay up with where all this is headed. So that's why I do recommend, like, if you're gonna go into Facebook advertising, that you work with someone that's doing that as a profession. It changes all the time. There's different types. I think to everyone's questions about what's the value, look at all the different types of objectives of the campaigns we can run. Reach, website traffic, we can generate leads, we can do conversions of sales, we can actually buy products, we can do in-store foot traffic. Think of these as like your business goals, and then these are the different types of ad types and audiences that we can use with Facebook. I'm not gonna get into heavy detail about that because that's like too down the road, but I did want to show you, one of our clients is the largest trash management company in Colorado. We ran a nice little video for them about their landfill, and we reached over 200,000 people, and we didn't even really spend that much money. We spent under $100 to reach that many people. Tell me in 2019 where you could spend less than $100 and reach 200,000 people. Nowhere is the answer. So Facebook's a great place, and there's a ton of advertising options there. So definitely look into that if you're trying to take your business to the next level on Facebook. Next slide. I just wanted to briefly show you this. This was a lead campaign. I know everybody in the room wants new business probably. So you can set up a Facebook lead ad campaign. This is kind of what the data looks like. I did this for an insurance agent in Atlanta, Georgia. We were able to generate him about a lead for $48. We spent $1,000 in 2 weeks, less than a month. We drove him 21 qualified leads, and he did close a sale. He's selling life insurance, where the average life insurance policy is $1,500 or more. So I already know he profited $500, and he got 20 other leads that could potentially be sales. He did that all through running Facebook lead ads. So if you're an insurance agent, if you're a real estate person, I would definitely recommend running Facebook lead ads eventually. Next page. Instagram, I just want to kind of not go too into depth. I think the biggest thing to understand there is the generational gap, right? Like when I graduated in 2011, it was all Facebook. 2019, it's like that's where everybody's moving to. But the funny thing is Facebook owns Instagram. So all the advertising that I just showed you, most of that is now going to Instagram. What's really happening on Instagram is the stories. I did a story of my my ski season with Icon Pass and ran an ad on Facebook, and look how many people I reached, and I paid $10. I paid $10 to reach 5,000 people. That's crazy. And this was also, this same ad was run on Facebook, so that reached another 1,000, 2,000 people, right? So I think just with Instagram, my perspective on that is focus on stories, focus on really quality images, and then run your Instagram ads as a cross promotion from your Facebook. Integrate those. It's literally all it is you go to your Facebook page and say, yes, post to Instagram. Or yes, I'm gonna run this ad on Instagram. So let's go to the next slide. Almost through. So Instagram stories, I'm hitting that nail on the head, right? The reason why Instagram stories are so important is because the posts and the engagement, just like Facebook, is going down. So if you just post something out there now, it's no longer that way where everyone sees it. It's pay to play. You gotta boost it, you gotta advertise it, whatever. Stories are gonna be, kind of more rapid. They're gonna show in that feed. You can do it's kind of what they call ephemeral content. Has everyone ever heard the word ephemeral? Ephemeral means that it's here today, but it's gone tomorrow. Like, I see it, and then it's gone. That's why Snapchat was so brilliant, because if somebody sent me a snap real quick of like them skiing down Copper Mountain, and then I wanted to go see it again, I can't. It's gone. So it's kind of like taking that micro moment of that one opportunity to kind of like drive emotion, and then now it's gone. And I want more, right? I want more seeing that mountain that I want to go to for my vacation. So now I'm gonna go, follow their page, or I'm gonna want to see what next stories they're gonna tell, because I can't go see that old story. So it's kind of that like, giving somebody a little taste, right? If I was like a chef and I had a really good meal, but I just let them try a little bit of it, and they're like, wow, I gotta come back to this restaurant. That food's really good. That's the concept of ephemeral content. Instagram TV is literally trying to be like television, where they're trying to turn their stories into television now. They're headed in that direction. All these platforms are trying to create their own networks. Facebook Watch, YouTube Red, Instagram TV. They're essentially becoming their own television channels where advertisers will pay to be on those channels. Next slide. I think this is my last slide, actually. So good on time. LinkedIn, everyone in the room, who has LinkedIn? Everybody? Good job, guys. LinkedIn in 2019, it's kind of like, that's where business, in my opinion, everybody is going there. The main benefit of having a LinkedIn in 2019, number one, is if you're in the job market, it's a great place for your resume, right? I mean, you can literally go and put everything you've done in your career on LinkedIn. They've got different sections. A new feature that they added just last month now is if I'm a business and I'm selling services, like certain skill sets, I can now go put those exact services at the top of my profile. So if you don't have this little section here, this is a new feature, I would add that, depending upon what industry you're in. So if I didn't even go, there's the whole like bottom right with my experience and my connections and all that stuff. These are the things that I would focus on that's gonna, what we call above the fold. Like if you were on a homepage of a website and you were selling me your like top products or your call to action or your brand, I still gotta scroll down. So think about that with LinkedIn, is like, this is like your homepage of your website, this section right here. And the way that I've done it, right, which is a little different approach, you see a lot of people use their title right here. Like, instead of me saying CEO of Global Social Media Marketing here, look how I use keywords differently. The reason for that is because now people are going to LinkedIn to find services, right? Hey, I need a social media person. I'm gonna go into LinkedIn, I'm gonna type in social media marketing. So if you're in your industry, if you're in real estate, I would probably put the word real estate in my headline. Or if you're an insurance agent, I would probably put like property and casualty insurance, or I would probably put home insurance. So that if somebody is searching for that service or product, boom, that's the first search result that LinkedIn populates back, is this section. So having your title, no one's searching for global social media marketing. Hopefully one day people will be, that's my goal, right? But like, right now nobody is, so what are people searching for? Relate back with your products or services are before. And then I think the other thing is like, leverage this better than I did, right? This is just like a cool looking picture of my favorite band, but it would have been nice maybe if I had my phone number here, or my email, or our special promotion if we're doing some discounts here. I mean, this is like an open space. Definitely have a good profile picture. It's up to you. I think the only really important thing here is just make sure you have a picture of your face. Don't go put something that's not you, right? Like, I see a lot of people like put pictures of mountains in their profile picture, and I'm like, well, that's cool because I get that you like the mountains, but like, I don't know what you look like. Like, if I'm gonna try to do business with you and I have a picture of the mountains, like, how does that help me kind of know who you are?